We are so thrilled because I told them how special our audiences were. We are the last show on their American tour. They fly out tomorrow back to the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. They've done more than 20 shows. They started the tour here January 18th, and they are wrapping it up in the most beautiful place in the world, in my opinion. So we're sending them back with Red Rock Fever. So I hope you'll give them a nice warm welcome for this. It's about a 75-minute show. They're going to stay on stage. We're going to do a quick talk-back Q&A with them. And then they're going to be out at the merchandise table, and they'll answer some more questions out there. So Jean-Francois, Thomas, and Fabrice are the musicians. Mathieu is the tech director. And please give a nice warm welcome to these guys from France in this extraordinary show. Right in the eye. Enjoy the show. They would be honored to take some questions. We've got a few minutes for some questions from the audience. So I'm going to come down to you all. If you have anything you'd like to ask or comment on with Jean-Francois or anyone over here, we're going to start over here.
How many works by Méliès survive, and how many have you played with?
How many films survived, and how many have you played with?
For the show, there is 11 films and one short, a documentary we created. This is a kind of in between from where you are and where we're going to go to the journey. And Méliès created more than 530 films. And we have around, according to what we know, because Méliès burns all his films. See, yes. So he burned everything. So, according to what we know, just left 30, 40. No, I'm sorry. Just miss 30, 40. Yeah. Excuse me. It's a little just after the show.
That's okay. I saw someone else's hand go up, but I don't know. Okay, I was thinking.
What town are you from? What city in France are you from?
Where are you from?
I live near Poitiers in France. La Rochelle.
I live in Bordeaux now.
The company is based in Poitiers and living around there.
I realize we have our interpreter here, Jeannie Carroll, just in case we need that. Okay, you're good. All right, other questions? Oh, sorry, I keep walking.
Wow, how astonishing. Just Fantastic.
Thank you.
It forced me to reinterpret what the silence meant, especially by Lumiere. And it was almost like a time capsule, because during that time period, in the 1890s and so forth, cinema was a huge transformation for the society. We all remember that image of people watching with the train coming out of the screen, and they weren't knowing what would happen because it was so mysterious. So I wanted to ask you, when you were looking at all these images that were largely mythological and custom-based, I mean, what would you want to put as a time capsule for something as important as cinema? Well, my early youth would be, like those kinds of things. And then it moved into industrialism and the machine and steam engine. I want to send that image back, when cinema was first invented. But then we're talking about sound. What did you use as inspiration, as a muse, for your inspiration about what sounds you used with the images that you saw?
I'm not thinking like that exactly. There is not one sound related to one image. However, according to the field, I gave, for instance, an identity to each character, or maybe a theme or something like that regarding regarding a specific music or sounds, but there is not one sound related to one image. And according to what you mentioned, and especially here in the film festival in 2026, we are the first Méliès film we saw here, was the first created. It was in 1896. And regarding that, what I found very, very interesting to present this work, we are basically, for instance, I guess, the film Hugo from Scorsese. Hugo is maybe 10, 15 years old, maximum, maybe 13. So Scorsese gave a huge homage to Méliès, which means there is everything he created is something very important. It's not just heritage; it's tools that made the cinema what it is today, basically. And I find very interesting. Of course, this is very old film, but the way we propose you is not to accompany the film with music, but to offer you a kind of journey regarding that. And it's another way to see these old films and put them maybe from another perspective. Because, of course, this is really old. However, it was at this period definitely experimental. And it was so bold from Méliès to create that, because there was nothing like this existing. You talked about the train, but that was like documentary, right? Méliès went way further, pushing the boundaries way further. So, according to me, it means something to present nowadays, especially in a film festival like this one. And regarding the sound, I wanted to give a very specific identity to each film. So, according to my filter, I went through. That is the only thing I can say. And what is also very interesting, if you remember the Voyage, the Impossible Voyage, there were parts. It was the first time we can see animation, for instance. The first ever. The first time we have science fiction films. It's crazy because at this period it was the Industrial Revolution. So there was no rocket. We didn't go through space or through the ocean. It was just from his mind, imagination. So it's kind of crazy. We saw the moon with a trip to the moon. Everybody knows this film, with the rocket. And here you have the sun. And related to the music, for instance, you have these parts of animation with the journey itself. So when going through the space or the oceans, and you have the preparation from the characters. So I gave two different perspectives. For instance, the live music for the characters, the live character, the preparation, and regarding the animation, I gave more sound design, sound effects, which gives, according to me, a different perspective because sounds is exactly like images. You have layers and also the perspective. You have macro, micro, macro, and so that's what I can say.
There's two things I want. One I want to say, and one I want to ask you. It's amazing to me when you think about it that it was the first time these things were even being not only thought of, but actually executed, and the fun that guy must have had going through this and doing these things for the first time, and do the whole magician thing and the making things disappear and making things reappear, and then the coloring of the film that it had to all be done by hand. That's another amazing thing. Just the fact that we, even as Americans, we don't realize that it was invented first somewhere else. It kind of like the the balloons. The gondola, they were invented somewhere else. But it's amazing that we think we're all innovative, but oh my goodness, la France, huh? Anyway, the other question is, what is your specific connection to this, and when did you start imagining to do this? And then how long have you been doing it? So what's your journey?
You mean regarding the film of Méliès?
This whole show. When did you...
Doing this whole show. So I'm working with images for a very long time. And it was the opposite of this kind of work. It was essentially image from our creation and music from our creation as well. So it was very different. And working with images, I really love the imagery and the mood and the feeling of Méliès, and I wanted to go through the origin, but from a contemporary way. So that was the main idea, and I discovered regarding Méliès something very interesting. He has, for instance, his film related to magic, related to science fiction, to animation. There is a wide range of creation in the imagination. And it's not that common. And I wanted to show up this and trying not to create music for film, but to create a whole piece where music, film, and the stage and the audiences as well could be a whole thing like a journey regarding the Méliès films. The reason why, for instance, you can have images without music or music without images. So, and some funny thing we can share together around the road. So, and also something very interesting because in the company we we have an important education program part, and we are involved in very different kind of program. And it was important to me to, regarding to what we can see on the social, for instance, to came back through the origin. And I can relate that, for instance, a couple of months ago, I was teaching a workshop in a class here in the US, and explaining, with the head, explaining how Méliès created these tricks. There is a student, it was 30 years old, he said, "Oh, this is the guy who created TikTok." Of course not. But what is very interesting is the bridge he made between this old thing and what he was saying on the social, and that's like exactly so that we make connection and also better understand and give kids in order to better understand how images are working.
Jean-Francois, part of her question was, when did you originally start doing this? How long have you been doing this show? And have these wonderful musicians been with you the whole time, or do you take out different touring groups?
So I created the show in 2014. And by then, we made more than 700 performances in 11 countries. With Thomas and Fabrice, maybe you can tell about your journey.
I joined right after COVID, so January 2021, and I was in the French team because there was the US tours were already happening back then. And then with Fabrice, we're doing the US tour for 3 years now. We just ended tonight our third US tour each and every winter now for 3 years. And that's it, I think. Yeah, and I think Fabrice joined in 2018. He did the very first US tour.
He joined in 2016.
2016, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are doing this all together for 3 winters now.
And Mathieu he was playing the same part like Thomas did, and he's now on the light and video and on the technical part here, and he is in the team since 2019.
Really beautiful. I really loved it. How different are the shows? Do you change a lot from each performance, or is it very similar?
Listen, we are mostly performers, right? So what's changing for each performance is the audience, right? So the way we can connect is different. So the improvisation parts or these parts are a little, depends on the mood in the room. However, we have a conductor. The conductor in the film, we have a frame, and the frame is strict. The film doesn't change. So we are following the film, and in the frame we have part of. However, we adjust, and especially with thanks to Thomas, we adjust a few things. But regarding the structure, it doesn't change from the beginning.
I feel like I've experienced the Cirque du Soleil of sound tonight.
Wow.
It was extraordinary.
It's a compliment.
And it's meant to be. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
So before I get over there, can you tell us how you travel with it? Because we had to provide the piano and the keyboard and the drums. Everything else they travel with, from France instruments are. How do you travel with this show? They looked like a clown car. They got out of the car today. And they were all packed into this car. How do you travel with this show, with all the stops, with everything you have to take?
Everything you can see here included the merchandising. We have 8 suitcases. And everything...
Regular suitcases, like...
Yeah, exactly, regular suitcases. And everything is handcraft, and you can drill and re-drill.
But the thing is that space inside of the suitcases is not the problem. The problem is weight. We have those saw blades and washing machine parts we are traveling with are really, really heavy. So Jean-François's suitcase is mostly empty because of that. So the big problem is weight, actually, not space.
So I noticed in the credits you had a theremin, but I noticed almost everything was acoustic. Do you have any criteria where you allow electronics in?
So there was a theremin. There is a theremin that was recorded in the soundtrack that were with the videos. And we have. I'll talk because I handle all the technical stuff. So down my feet I have a mixer, and a few of the sounds are coming through that mixer and then through the computer I have. Sometimes in the show, like when Jean-François did his thing at the beginning of the Impossible Voyage, when I'm looping the sounds that he's doing to create that soundscape, frogs, whistles, birds. So there is this technical aspect that we needed to have because Jean-François wanted something very precise, and then to achieve it, sometimes you just have to. Between us, working with computers, I hate it, and I think everybody should hate it because, you never know. And for video as well, as maybe you can tell. But there is. We try to make it as acoustic as we can and as easy to travel with as we can, as you can imagine. But sometimes we just have to use a bit of electricity.
We have time for one more question back here, and then the guys, they're all going to be out there at their merchandise table, and you can ask them, take pictures and those kind of things. We're going to do a red carpet with them. So you got the last one.
Yeah, it was wonderful creativity, and as an artist myself, I'm really curious how you logistically birthed the production, because perhaps you have a background that's already building it, but to go from zero to this and to take it on the road, I'm curious. I understand France has a lot of support for artists. If that played a role for you, or if you did it independently, if you can give any insight for inspiration for the rest of us who are launching creative endeavors like this, that would be great.
How can I say? Basically, for instance, regarding this tour, the show is can be bought, but we also producing a lot of things. So mainly it's maybe it's 65 produced, and the rest is maybe 60-75 produced and self-produced, and the rest is from the venue, from the festival, or some ladies. We don't have in France, of course, there is we have a regime for artists, very interesting. However, except that we are not, the company is not financially supported for functioning. So we always work on the project, and we are mainly self-produced.
And can you tell us just real quick, where are you going now? I know you're heading back tomorrow. What other tours do you have planned? We've been working on this 2 years ago is when we first started talking. So I know you book your tours really far in advance. Where are you going? Where's the tour going next, or a group going out next? Can you tell us?
Regarding this project, we have other things here in the US during the spring. We also have things in France, but a little. And we are preparing new tours, also in Europe, but also here in the US. And regarding around this show, we have, as I mentioned, an important education part, and we are involved with several European countries, which is a part of financial European fundings, but not the entire part, something half or something. And we also have other productions. So this is one part of the work of the company.
They booked them all themselves. Who's Apolline? Is that your wife?
Not yet.
Yeah. I was zooming with a very attractive French woman, and
No. Apolline,
She left a month ago, actually.
She's not my wife, she works in the company as for the booking.
for the bookings. Yeah. So he's got some people who help him book. Yeah. So thank you, Jean-Francois. Thank you, Thomas, Fabrice. Thank you. And right over there, come on out, Mathieu. This is Mathieu Luca.
And Mathieu.
There's the sound and tech guy hiding in the dark. Come on in.
He's a very good driver.
Come say hello. They brought some merchandise. Help support them and say hello to them on the red carpet. Thank you all so much for being here. This is a live event, so it is not voted on, so you won't have it in your voting portal. I know. I wish we could. Thank you all.